Merry Christmas, everybody. We're back with another review. Uh, enjoying the early gifts that Amazon bequeathed upon me. Even though if I pay for it is really a gift, well, uh, that's a question for another time. But hey, we're taking a look at from the Transformers Earthspark line. These are the Cyber Combiners. Uh, Terran Twitch, and Robby Malto. And let me just make a correction if I did so in the previous video. Mo is the sister, Robby's the brother. And so, yeah, let me just get that straight. Like I said, it's been a while since I watched the show, so I kind of, forgot. But this was released the same time as Bumblebee and Mo. And I meant to get it up like the next day, but last minute holiday stuff. And then Christmas happened, so I was a little busy. But here we are now. And I'm really excited to present this set to you because we're going to answer a couple questions. And here, you know what? Little spoiler. Yes, these figures are cross compatible with Bumblebee and Mo. Um, which can combine with Bumblebee, which can combine with Mo, Robby and Mo can combine with each other. It's a wonderful thing. Now, as I mentioned, I got these from Amazon. These haven't even been seen at retail yet, so that's the best way you're going to be able to pick them up. So what we'll do is we'll pause and we'll come back and take a quick look, and closer look at Robby. All right, so right off the bat, I want to mention that this is a different mech suit design from Moe's. In fact, going one thing I did neglect to mention is that there's an asymmetrical design to these mech suits. As you can see, the shoulders are different, so that's a little bit something different going on there. Let me come in real quick to give you the look at Robbie's head. Now, a lot of people have actually commented that the designs of the heads here on Robbie and Mo are actually a little more aesthetically pleasing and almost better than what they look like in the show. So I guess that's the difference between the toy and animation aesthetic. Other than that, there's the same level of articulation. You have ball joint in the shoulder, you have a 90-degree bend, universal joint at the hip, the faux ratcheting knee. So you do have plenty of articulation, in my opinion, to do what you want. Unfortunately, there's no head, no waist. Um, One thing that is cool that I think was missing from Moe's is you have this port on the back. You have weapon storage. So that's kind of cool. So um, let's get right into the prep for uh, making the combined mode. And I think we'll start with Robby as a leg. So the first, much like you did with Mo, open the chest, flip the head down, peg it in like that. And now we know with these combiners, these connector ports, they are universal. So if they make more figures, um, they'll be able to cross combine. And by the way, I was going on about Crash Combiners and Common Rider. This is pretty much a modernization of the Energon combiners. Remember those guys from Energon when the Autobots could combine? You know, but this is really refined from that. So once you have the head tucked in, the next step, what you want to do, bend the arm backward. And there is actually a second joint at the elbow. You want to make sure that joint is bends 90 degrees, and then the bicep comes flush, because the next step, what you're going to do after that, is bring it back like this, and then unpeg the armpit joint, and there's a tab here on the back with a slot, and the arm will just peg in like that. So, not too difficult, but it holds. The big thing to remember here is to make sure that that second joint uh, folds up 90 degrees so you have the proper angle and leverage to peg things in like that. And since we're doing the feet first, um, leave these tread feet down, come around the back, and then flip out the larger combined foot, and that will just snap into the bottom like they've done on the other figures. So that gives the figure a little extra height and a lot more stability in the combined mode. That was, again, something that I think has been refined from Energon. So, oh, and here, while you're waiting, ooh, weapon storage. So yeah, I mean, that's really cool that's how it comes out. So let's pause and take a look at Twitch. And here's Twitch. Now, obviously, for those of you following along at home, this is going to be my first experience with a fully transforming Twitch figure. Still have not picked up the deluxe one, and apparently the Warrior one will be coming later in 2024. That could be January 2nd. That could be July. Who knows? Uh, but yeah, we do have this is a drone type of figure. It's kind of interesting that, and please correct me in the comments, with all the figures and toys that have been showing up at closeout outlets like Ross and Ollie's, I haven't seen that many mainline Transformer figures. I've seen store exclusives, I've seen reissues, but I haven't seen anything like Earthspark or stuff from the main Legacy Generations line. Um, the flip side being, I've also heard that unfortunately Earthspark isn't selling as well. But this is actually a very nice drone. Um, so there is that. We do have the clear plastic here used for the VTOLs. So to transform it into robot mode, what I would suggest first is make your life easy. Flip up those um, leg vents, come to the side here, and you're going to rotate the blades around. And very simple, but there are some little notches molded in that are natural stops. So that's kind of a nice touch. Next, what you want to do is pull on the back section here, and then the legs, that black section is going to straighten out and then peg into the legs. And at this point, you can come in, flip the feet down. The legs will probably separate as you do that. Let me just give it a little space here. Uh, Now we come to like what I think is the weakest part of the mode. Well, before we get to that, unpeg the vents from here, rotate, and there's a vertical tab right there. So that'll get that out of the way. And this comes to the arms. And apparently, if I remember correctly, the arms on the deluxe version were a problem as well. You unfold them. Now, if you look at the bicep here, there is a slot and there are tabs there on either side of the crotch piece. Unfortunately, these don't really peg in. It's more like it sits and it works, it holds, but I would have preferred a firmer hold. But that's just me. So go ahead, push these back until the shoulders snap into their proper position, and then come up here, flip down the what was the front of the drone is now the chest piece, and that will snap into place as well. And there's Twitch in its robot mode. Very nice. Close to the animation design. Obviously, some liberties have been taken due to the gimmick of the figure. But again, you do have a full slate of articulation, deep knee bend, universal joint at the hip, ball joint at the shoulder, elbows. The head, unfortunately, is fixed again, but again, that's the nature of the transformation. So now, let's talk about getting it into the torso mode. First thing you want to do, grab the head, fold it down, and as you can see, again, the combiner ports. Now what you're going to do is fold the forearms on those sideway hinges, and come back to these VTOL lifts and just unpeg them and rotate them to the back just to get them out of the way. Because now what you're going to do is bring the arm back in this position. And no, unfortunately, it doesn't tab in to one of those ports, but there's a peg on the VTOL, and that will, you just line it up. You got to play with it a little. Um, that will actually peg in just like so into the fist hole. And, again, just a little play with it. And there you go. So that will hold it into place. And then finally, flip up the robot mode feet. That will reveal the fists. And yeah, we're ready to combine. So get this to stand. Oh, I can get it to stand. Okay. So we'll pause right now and we'll come back with the combination. Okay, so since we kind of saw the big reveals with B and Mo, I'm not going to go crazy with the zoom, but basically you're just going to bring the two together like this. Works the same way. Snap them in, and then which you're going to split at that crotch piece. That will bring down the new chest section and reveal the combined mode head. So just continue to bring stuff around, and there we go. There is Twitch, uh, the combined mode of Twitch and Robby. Very nice. Obviously, again, you can hold the weapon. Um, you can also, as I've been mentioning, store the weapon. So that's kind of cool. Um, you still have all of the leg articulation, which means that the arms are articulated, the hips are articulated, just like we had on the original with what we saw with Bumblebee and Mo. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and bring them in because, as I mentioned, you can do a cross combination. So, but you know what? Before we get too far there, let's also show you how it looks with Robby on top. So basically, what you're going to do is, and I think I'll do this with like the arms down so you can see. You do want to bring out the giant combined foot, um, and then this will peg in to the hand, so just like so. And just like that, straighten the arms out, bring this chest piece back, bring them up like this, snap it together, straighten it up, cartwheel. Again, the instructions don't show it transforming like this. This is actually how they show you to do it in the commercial for these toys. But split Robby at the crotch piece, and there comes that giant drone head. And in this regard, we're going to unpeg the giant boot from there. That'll tab in, flip up the front tread. That will reveal the fist hole, uh, just like that. Now, I think like with Mo, Robby's joints are a little bit tighter, but again, can hold the weapon. So we'll quickly just come in here, and again, we can cross combine. So without further ado, let's just rip Robby off top here, rip Bumblebee off here. I appreciate that actually when doing this that the spring component is dependent on the hips there, so you don't have to worry about stuff popping back up. But bring it on top like this, and line it up. There we go. And I think color wise, this works a little bit better because you see that Twitch has a little bit of yellow that unifies with Bumblebee. Now, Robbie and Mo, this is going to be an epiphany. Bring them together just like that, and I think the proportions work a little bit better. Again, the colors blend together. Those little gaps in the chest there come together. Also, looking at Robbie and Mo combined, you kind of can see now why they wouldn't include they wouldn't do like Robbie and Thrash because Thrash is roughly the same character, and I'm sure the retailers, one of the rules is you bright colors appeal to kids. So you have one of the neutral, darker mech suits with a bright, vibrant character, yellow with Bumblebee, red with Twitch. So there is that. Now, if this line continues, I'm sure we'll get a Thrash at some point. But let me just see something here as I remove, because the weapons are cross compatible, obviously. Let me just pull this off and see if I can the sword fit in? Now, actually, the sword can't peg in using that peg, but if you fold the handle down, yeah, it does store on the back there. Uh, I don't see a way to combine the weapons. Well, there is a blast hole, so I guess you could do like that, but the weapons are cross compatible, so there is that. And again, the articulation is again the same shared. Um, yes, I will admit Mo's legs still look a little thin. So what I think we'll do now, since we've seen the cartwheel gimmick a few times, I'll just pause, do it off camera, so you can see what Twitch looks like on top of Bumblebee and what Mo looks like on top of. Okay, and here we are. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is the configuration that works better for both. I think Bumblebee's feet, because remember, it's actually the bumper and the roof and windshield that form the giant robot feet. I think the thicker legs work better, and I think it's a little more proportionate with Twitch. Um, I mean, again, you still have the yellow on Twitch coming through, so it does have that unity there, and with the black. It would have been nice if there was a little blue to match the windshields on Bumblebee, but I think they were going for the green to match with the drone a little bit better. But yeah, and then if you look over at Mo and Robbie, I think having Robbie as the bottom with the thicker legs, um, that just works out more proportionately. And just something as an aside that I noticed, I mean, with the arms folded out in the back like that, kind of looks like a little bit of a jetpack action going on. Um, but now let me see what that with Robbie on the bottom. If this sword, not you're still hitting that side section, but this is cool. Oh, and you do have like on the inside here these wings. You can get that. Oh no, because of the back panel. But yeah, I just think overall, if I was going to display them, this is how I'll display them with the brother and sister together and with the two Autobots together. I just think in terms of color unity, it works better, especially with the two mechs. That is just really cool. Uh, Obviously, yeah, you have to keep the arms slightly bent because while there is that issue with the arms being a little bit longer, in this configuration, it comes out a little bit better. So yeah, I think these are really fun toys, and uh, you can just even dual wield the weapons. I think this is really what it's intended, but these would be something fun to have. It's the Crash Combiner concept merging with the Energon Combiner, but refined for 2023, 2024 with articulation and stuff like that, and the spring loaded. Oh, and yeah, if I really haven't said that clearly, the spring loaded gimmick really doesn't interfere with the actions of the individual robots because it's all dependent on uh, splitting at the hips, and they do lock very tightly. So there is that. So um, I think all that's left right now is to give you my final thoughts, which I'll do right after this. So, as I've been saying all along, these type of combiners are really a fun gimmick, and I think out of the gimmick toys that we've gotten thus far in Earthspark, these are the best because it's a little old, it's a little new, um, but these are definitely fun figures. Minor quibbles aside, for example, when you're having Robbie hold the rifle, it actually blocks the elbow a little. It is clearly, I think, sized to be with the combined mech. I mean, that's a minor thing, especially when the fact that, Robbie's mech has that port for storage, um, which, the arms don't peg in as well. But let's be honest, I don't see myself transforming Twitch to its drone mode all that often. I see myself just going from the various combined modes. I mean, that cartwheel gimmick, that I think is a lot of the fun play pattern to it. Um, but yeah, now I know a lot of you are going to ask, well, if you only buy one, which one to get? And I have to say, in terms of all honesty, you should get both just because if you only buy one, you miss out on that cross play pattern. And to be honest, I truly think that the mech suits were meant to combine together and the Autobots were meant to combine together. It was just for the reasons we already mentioned in terms of appearance on a shelf, they had to split them up. Um, but if you're to twist my arm, uh, I would say the Bumblebee and Mo Malto one. Bumblebee in its all in robot mode, it's good. In vehicle mode, it it's solid. Everything locks up well. The torso form, the leg forms, those are good. Um, Mo, uh, in each form, the parts that have to transform do so very nicely, just like Mo. It's just, Twitch is a little more fiddly like that. And to be honest, I think I like the sword weapon a little bit better. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the second season of Earthspark if uh, these toys will show up, like there will be a story about it. Because I'd also like to see if they try to explain how the parents justify letting their children pilot giant mech suits of doom. But yeah, let me just reiterate again. These are coming from Amazon. As of right now, as far as I know, they have not been found at retail. So definitely, Amazon's the only way to get them. And from what I've seen, I'm the only one covering them. So yeah, share them with your friends. Let everybody know. But that's about it for the review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. It does help with the algorithms and promoting the channel, which, these last couple weeks of the year and of right before Christmas, I've had the best numbers that I've had all year. And that's thanks to you guys. And I really do appreciate it. if you want to make the ultimate signer support, which some of you have actually done, and I appreciate that, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. And the reason I do that is because I don't have to offer um, tiers, rewards, stuff like that. All it is just a little extra to help keep up the channel and keep things interesting. But as I also say, if you can't swing it, that's okay. Your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. That Sunday has been you guys supporting my channel for the over 10 years now, and the support I've really gotten in the last couple of weeks to a month. But I really hope we can keep this going into the new year. So that's about it. Once again, Merry Christmas for Twitch and Robby Malto. We will see you next time.